guys, welcome back to another episode of What It Takes. In today's video, we talk to Jessica, a Medicare Health Insurance Agency owner that partners with her husband. She was a dental hygienist, so we're going to talk to her how she transitioned into becoming a business owner in the Medicare space. So pay attention to all of the nuggets, the tips, guys. This is a great one. And by the way, you're gonna wanna stay to the end for the office tour. Trust me, beautiful office. So keep watching. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of What It Takes. Guys, in today's video, we have Miss Jessica.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So how did you get into insurance? First, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Jessica. I own an agency here in Florida with my husband. His name is Tyler. Our agency is called MAC Insurance. We're right here in a small town of Florida, just north of Tampa, called Brooksville. What made us get into it? Well, we both had pretty well-established careers before we did insurance. So I worked in the dental field. I was a dental hygienist for many years. And he was a port engineer. He used to work on ships out of the port of Tampa. So we both had pretty well-established careers. We both had young children at the time. And then COVID happened, and we were both in industries that we thought maybe wouldn't last very long. We weren't considered essential at the time. So we were like, what are we going to do? We have these kids that we have to support, this family we have to support. So we ended up getting our insurance license, long story short, and we kind of tried to figure out, okay, well, what kind of insurance are we going to do? And how in the world are we going to make any money doing this? So we just kind of took a huge leap of faith, and we started doing a lot of research. We had some people that we knew in North Florida that, you know, they're actually Tyler's distant cousins. They did Medicare. And they worked for an agency, you know, they call it captive. They worked for an agency doing it, but they really kind of showed us what it was like, how it worked. And we kind of started doing our own research and said, well, let's just try to see how this goes. So we just little by little started doing it while we still were working at our full-time jobs. And eventually we just said, well, if we're going to do this, we have to pick a job. We can't have 4 jobs between the two of us and still see our family. So I quit my job first and never looked back since. I quit my job, went full time, and then he shortly after joined me, and we just built our agency literally from the ground up, and thankfully it worked out for us.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people, their story is like COVID.
It is.
Like it's COVID because of COVID.
COVID was a life changer for a lot of people. I believe that.
Yeah. It's almost like back in, was it 2008 when the market crashed?
Yes, the recession.
Yeah, and a lot of individuals end up becoming a millionaire because of that.
Yes.
So it's like seeing the wave of COVID. I feel like we're going to get a lot of success stories due to COVID.
I think so too. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So you and your husband are partners. Mm-hmm. So how is it working with your spouse?
It is. It is a learning curve to work with your spouse. That is true. We just try to kind of work on different parts of the business, and that has helped us tremendously. So he does a lot of our business that we help clients with in other states, and I do a lot of our local business. So doing it that way, we're still kind of like parallel. We work together, but not. So really a lot better for the marriage.
I love that. So when did you hire your first staff? Like when you feel like, okay, this is the time to hire my first staff, and what role was it?
So that's a great question. So the first staff member we hired, she still works with us today. She's an agent now, but she started as just our administrative assistant. And she kind of was able to learn the ropes of what we do. I thought it was great. We hired her about, I would say, a year ago. And that quickly she's transitioned into an agent. She started hearing us on the phone, and she kind of learned about Medicare. Maybe she didn't even want to, but yeah. She just by default learned what we were saying, and she's like, I think I want to do this. I'm going to get my license. So that's kind of how she transitioned, and it's changed her life tremendously too. She's a single mom, and she's been able to provide for her family in ways that she never imagined. So it's been really cool for us to see that.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Were you afraid with payroll when you first hired your first person?
Terrified. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay myself, much less these other people. But that's what we told her. We were like, man, no matter what, you're going to get paid. We're going to make sure you get paid before us. And that's it. As a business owner, you know, some months you do really well and some months you don't, but you got to make sure you pay your employee, right? So that's how it is.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
And my kids, you know, my kids work with me this summer, and these kids was like, "You're paying us this amount of money per hour." I was just like, "Okay."
Yep.
They're like, "We know our worth." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I raised you right."
That's it. Good for them.
Yeah, it is. Payroll is kind of scary, but
it's stressful. It is.
But once you do it, you're like, "Okay, I can do this."
Yes.
You get used to it coming out of your account. So
absolutely.
All right, and then your second employee, because you have two.
Yes, so she is our new, because our first one took over and went on the agent side, we then were left without somebody to help us with the administrative side. So for a while we kind of were like, well, should we wait a little while financially? But we ended up just going ahead and hiring another administrative role. So she's great. She started just actually a few months ago. She's doing really well. So now we kind of have our core team, which is exciting. Yeah. I don't think I'll be hiring anyone soon. I think we're just going to let that ride. Because as we know, payroll's scary.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's just been really cool to see it grow from what it was when we first started.
Yeah, I love it. So do you do any, so all of your clients come to your office? Though?
We do still do phone sales, so we have people that call in from other states if they're not local, but pretty much all our local clients do come in. They like to have a place where they can come and see us in person. So that's what's cool, in my opinion, about, you know, having an office space. I recommend it to people who do this remotely to consider it. You know, I think it's really helped us build that connection with our local clients.
Okay. So what would you say the difference is when you used to go to, like, what are the pros or some of the cons from going into someone's home versus having an office?
Well, the pros are sometimes you go to some sketchy places, you know. We did go to some homes a few times. Sometimes you just can't avoid it, right? There's people that need help that they can't, you know, they cannot financially or physically make it out of their office. Sometimes they don't drive, so of course we still occasionally have to help those people, but for the most part I think having an office also builds credibility, you know, and it also provides a safe environment for you to conduct business and for them to kind of respect you as, you know, their agent. When you go to their home, it's kind of like you don't know what you're going into a lot of times. Sometimes they can be way further out than what, you know, where we are. It kind of limits your ability to help more people, right? Because you're spending all this driving time for this one or two people when you could be at your office seeing and helping other people in that same amount of time, more people.
Yeah, definitely agree. You have a great location. So do you get a lot of walk-ins?
We do get quite a few walk-ins. Thank you. This is our second or new location. We used to be in a location where we weren't as close to the center of town. So people didn't really see us as easily. We weren't as visible to the road. Now that we're more visible, we do get more walk-ins. That's been pretty cool and exciting. But yeah, it's kind of new for us because we're not used to it. Yeah. So when somebody opens the door, we're like, who is that? You know? But that's been cool, yeah. So definitely more foot traffic than we used to get at the other place. Yeah.
So you would say the walk-ins basically pay the bills?
I would say they help. Okay. I wouldn't say they totally pay the bills. I think that what we do mainly is we put on a lot of seminars for the community. So that really helps us get our name out there. We're also trying to be pretty heavily involved in community projects. We're in, you know, like the Rotary Club, which is actually an international club, helps people all over the world. But here in our community, we try to just be involved, and people naturally flock to you if you're a helpful person, you know. So
okay, yeah. I would say for me, walk-ins definitely pay the bills. When I say that, I mean like the light bill.
Yes.
Like, you know, if you get enough walk-ins, they'll like pay that stuff.
And that's a good place to be. We're definitely, I would say the walk-ins definitely help. I think a lot of what helps us too is just our seminars, word of mouth, that kind of thing. We also still conduct business in other states over the phone. So, you know, that kind of stuff helps.
Okay. So speaking of seminars, so what do you do? Like, what are some of your main lead sources?
Sure. So we do, definitely the seminars are a source for local people, of course. We run some webinars, in other states online for people who aren't local. Obviously, they can't just pop on over to our office. And then we do some ads on social media, I would say. And then now, we're grateful that just having the business a few years, we've been able to get more referrals, just word of mouth. I always think that word of mouth is the key, but of course it takes, as you know, a little while to build that because, you first start out, nobody knows you. So, I think it's a combination of all those things.
Yeah, I love that. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
Oh man, in the next 5 years, I see us hopefully having a lot more, agents working with us. I always want to keep it, if I can, this small hometown broker vibe. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
It means a lot to me to give back to this community where I grew up. So I hope in 5 years that I maybe am working more on the business and not in it as much, just so I have more freedom with my family and everything. That was our real reason for starting our own business, is we wanted more freedom, to be with our family and things like that, which we still do a lot of, thankfully. But that's where I see it. I hope that we have more agents that we can give these opportunities to and just be a bigger resource and a better resource for the seniors in our community.
Do you see yourself doing digital or technology or anything like that?
I don't know. Maybe if I still keep talking to you, Patricia. I think, that is what the world is going to.
Yeah.
I think everybody's digital now. A lot of people are going toward that tech, way. And I would love to get more into that. I just need to just do it and not be such a chicken. But yes, definitely. I'm hoping that I grow in that part of myself, is being more confident to do more digital content and put that out there. That's my goal.
Yeah. Another question I have is, so right now you have one LOA. Do you see yourself getting downlines? Like, how do you feel about being an upline versus having LOA agents?
I think that I have always gone back and forth with this. So, I like helping people. I like being a resource and a mentor to people if I can be, in any part of life, especially this business. But as I've evolved in this business, as our business here has grown, I realized that I like pouring, my resources and energy more into my internal agent. And to me, that fulfills me more than downlines would at this point. I don't think I'm not really against having downlines. I think I would want to, for now, explore more having LOAs than downlines at this point. Maybe in the future.
Yeah. Okay, so you have small kids. Do you see them getting involved in the business?
I hope so. I hope they get involved. My husband and I both, we talk about this all the time. We went to college,
Yeah.
And we had a lot of school debt after, at least I did. He didn't, thankfully, but, it's just, it's hard to make that, you want them to do your business, you want them to take it over, but you also can't be like, this is what you're doing, you have no other option. So I'm definitely hoping that they lean that direction. But as far as what they do, I just want them to, of course, be happy and successful. So if it's not insurance, I'll get over it, but hopefully.
Have you ever considered working with dentistry, since you came from that field, that background, as far as lead generation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have actually. We haven't, I haven't dabbled in it too much because nowadays a lot of dental offices, it seems, are more fee for service. They're not taking as many insurances, especially Medicare plans. But, I have a little bit looked into how can I integrate the two, because I will always have a love for dentistry. It was something that I was always very passionate about, but I would love to try to see how they both could coexist.
Yeah, definitely. I think I have some ideas for you.
Awesome. Well, that'd be awesome.
I'm going to take an idea somebody else told me and I'm going to give it to you.
I love that. That's cool. Collaboration.
Reverse engineering. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
It was in the last video. If you guys haven't checked that video out.
Yeah, awesome.
Video, reverse engineering. But anyways, yeah. What else? give us a good nugget for a new agent that's just starting out. What would you tell that new agent?
Oh man, I would say for a new agent, you just have to know that this industry, in my opinion, takes a lot of grit, takes a lot of resilience, and a lot of perseverance, you know. So you're going to get a lot of no's, of course, but all you need is that one person to say yes, and I truly believe that. Mark Cuban says that, and I've always thought of it throughout my life and my business. And then the other thing is, in terms of marketing and bringing lead sources in, or, you know, things like that, to me, in my experience, everything works a little bit, but there's not ever been one thing that's like, man, that's the thing, it's going to work forever and bring us all our leads. It's always just like trying new things and having the courage to invest not only in your business, but in yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So I would actually, okay, I have another question. So your husband, you said an engineer, right?
He was an engineer.
Okay,
yep.
He was an engineer. You was a hygienist. Do you feel like, because you guys had, you know, decent incomes, do you feel like this really helped you transition into
doing our own business?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that definitely, we had some savings when we started. That was definitely something that helped propel us forward for sure. I mean, I think a lot of new agents, they come into this and they don't realize the cost that goes into starting up this new business. You know, of course you can do a lot of grassroots marketing and things that are free, but it takes so long to build it doing that. You know, it definitely helps if you have a little bit of capital to put into it, which thankfully we did. We had some savings. That's absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of people leave that out when they're talking about starting a business. They don't realize the investment that you put into that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then what about, since you had family that was in the business, do you feel like that was a lot of support as well?
I think in a way, yeah. They kind of do it way differently than an independent agent. So,
because they're in the captive.
Yeah, they're more in the captive space. They still, of course, do their own thing and own their own, you know, they do handle their own stuff the way they want. They control things the way they want. But it definitely opened the door for us to see what Medicare entails, what it's like. And they were definitely a very helpful resource for us in the beginning, you know, because we didn't even know where to start. And so they definitely encouraged us in that way for sure.
Okay. Do you feel like you inspired them now?
I don't know. I hope so. I think so. I think that they always say, you know, they're kind of in a different stage of their life. They're older.
Oh, okay.
They always say that they wish, you know, if they could go back, that they would do a lot of the things that we do. They like the model that we're having and stuff. So I think in a way, I think we've been encouraging for each other for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I feel like I have the kids working with me this summer. It's like the young is like inspire the old.
They do.
And then the old can inspire, you know?
They
like,
do.
It's just
you can learn things from them that you never really thought. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, teenagers are so smart.
They are so smart.
Like, you can get so much knowledge from the older generation, and you can get so much knowledge from the younger generation. Like, right now, the kids are doing my shorts, and we were just talking how they came up with the idea that was so stupid to me, and it got 7,000 views. I'm like, that's not fair.
And they were like, I told you, Mom. Just listen to us.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, the generation helping each other. It's really nice to see that. Because like the newer generation, they're all about technology and like not working for the man, and you know,
smart. They're scary smart. I know.
And the older generation's like, get a degree, go to college, and
get a 401k.
Yeah, get off online. You're wasting your time on the internet. But yeah, like it's really nice to see like how we can actually all help each other.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to take too much of your time. Give me one good nugget for an individual that wants to transition. Maybe they're out in the field. They have, you know, a good book, and they're like, I am so tired of going out in the field. What would you tell them to help them transition over to like having an office space? Maybe they can't afford anything, you know, crazy, but they want to like at least have their own office space to do like, you know, one-on-one private.
Person.
Yeah.
I would look into seriously considering leasing office space, you know, because of course, you know, when you first start out, even leasing it can be expensive, but sometimes people, you know, if there's somewhere in your area that maybe there's a building that they have a room that you can lease, you can talk to them, negotiate that, just so that you have a safe and like, you know, professional environment to conduct an appointment or something where you don't have to necessarily go to their house. You can kind of meet in a public place. I do know of a lot of our colleagues and stuff in the business that do something similar. It kind of keeps their costs down, but it gives them a place where they can meet, and I think that's a great thing. So, I would say just look around in your community and ask around and see if there's anyone that would be up to doing that. Maybe they already have a large office space that they would rent you a conference room or something.
Yeah, and I think working with a company that could possibly help you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe a disability attorney or someone that specializes in real estate, but they do 55 plus or something like that. That would be a good idea
Or maybe
too.
even like a financial advisor if you're not, if you guys make that work. That would be great, something like that. Sometimes nowadays, even doctor's office groups will allow somebody to go in there and rent, a space. So that'd be awesome.
Flea markets too.
Yep, that's a great resource. Yep.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed all of the nuggets and the tips in this video. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, thank
you.
Bye,
guys.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how. Got this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be.
Okay, welcome to Mac Insurance. This is our front lobby. This is where our admin Tina sits. She helps us with all our customer service. She answers the phones. And then right here is our lobby waiting area. So whenever clients come in, maybe for an appointment or even as a walk-in, they can sit and wait here. And we always have some sort of refreshments over here for them to enjoy while they're waiting. Coffee, water, whatever they would like, snacks. And then in this area is where we typically hold our in-office seminars. So if we're doing any seminars, we will have groups of people in here. And then this desk over here is where our agent Shelby sits. She also helps our clients that come in locally.
Nice.
So we'll come this way. This is where Tyler sits. This is his office. So he will see clients in here typically. Sometimes he's on the phone. Pretty big.
This is nice.
He likes it. He's on the opposite side of the building than me.
This is definitely look like a man's office.
A man cave, yeah. And then his office leads into our break room area. This is the bathroom, of course. This is the area where our staff can come. They eat lunch. We have a fridge. Kind of just like a break area for us.
Okay.
And then this leads into my office, which is opposite side. So I'll have clients that come in here. Sometimes they sit at my desk. Sometimes if there's more, a whole family or something, I'll meet with them at the table. So that's pretty much it.
That's nice. Real nice.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you for the office tour. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you would like to reach out to Jessica and or her team, go ahead and check out the description in this video. Like she had mentioned in this video, she may have some opportunities now or in the future for an LOA agent. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. Bye guys. Peace and love.
Talk to me.